Hey y'all. Oh, why my hand went like that?
Hey.
And welcome back to Degrassi, the class of nostalgia. Yay.
Ooh.
Woo. We got our shirts on and everything. Mine's kind of matches my background. Also, fun fact before we really get started, I follow this girl on TikTok. I think her name is like Degrassi fan or something like that. I really like she's huge Degrassi fan. Like I'm pretty sure if you search Degrassi, she's the first person that comes up. But I just noticed she was talking about how Degrassi rebranded itself in like season 10, or Degrassi Next Generation rebranded itself to just Degrassi. And I just noticed it because I have a background like after season 10. And if you look at Amber's background, it says, well, it probably is this way for y'all, but Degrassi the Next Generation. And if you notice, mine doesn't say it. So that just shows you they really try to rebrand themselves and like make it seem like a new show. But yeah, just a fun fact for y'all. Make sure y'all go follow us on TikTok and follow. I believe her name is Degrassi. Like you'll literally know who I'm talking about if you look up Degrassi. But to get into our episode, because that's not what our episode's about. Our episode today is about our least favorite slash the worst characters on Degrassi. So
Of course, in our
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, in our opinion, we're gonna try to keep the negativity to a minimal, but some characters really just gonna be in my head. They be trying me, so it might be a different story for some characters. So, like, we're gonna get started. I think my first character is not necessarily somebody. Oh yeah, and we said we're gonna try to go from like our least least favorite to our most least favorite. So for my first character, I think I don't necessarily dislike this character. I just feel like they were unnecessary and they didn't really give us any like personality to this character or really give them any character development. So I don't really dislike this character. I just really think they were unneeded. Like they just were one of the worst characters created. And and what about you, Amber? Like can you hear me? Are you frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You gonna say
No.
anything about your character?
Oh,
I
my
wasn't just gonna
characters
flat out say
are.
who my character was. I was
Oh,
giving a little
yeah. I forgot we're doing it at
context.
the same time. Yeah. So, my character, same thing, very underdeveloped. I mean, we don't even really know her, I guess you could say, age because she was there, like, kind of in the early seasons and she was also on the later seasons too.
Oh, I know
So,
you're
it's kind
talking
of
about.
weird, but yeah. So, I don't even know reason. It's a whole reason why I don't like her and another character. Is kind of like the same, kind of like the same reason, but also different reasons. So yeah,
Okay, so yeah, our characters are mine's is Mia.
mine's Shantae.
Okay. I wrote out like a bunch of stuff because I wanted to make sure I included everything so people won't be like, "Oh, you just a hater." So, okay. First of all, I think Mia is literally giving off Tori Vega vibes. And y'all know Gen Z, I guess that's technically my generation. Y'all know, and I guess millennials would know too. Tori Vega was not the best character on Victorious. Like they really try to make her the center. Like I like Victoria Justice, don't get me wrong, but Tori Vega, like she was annoying. Like she was unnecessary. She wasn't as talented as everybody else. And I feel like that's kind of weird because I feel like I'm kind of going off topic, but y'all know that on the first episode, she was kind of cool. She was like she was humble. She was like, I'm not that talented. And she was like, I'm going to sing for my sister. And then she got lucky enough to get into the school. And then she went into that whole thing with Jade. But then literally the next episode, she was acting like she was better than everybody else. She was like, oh, I can do the bird scene. My bird scene is so good. And then she was like, that's when she really went downhill for me. So literally Mia is that for Degrassi, in my opinion. Like she's one of the main girls, I believe. And literally she was like, I'm a model. I'm better than everybody else. And do you even remember how she became a model?
No,
Literally,
nobody
okay,
knows.
because I was. I was looking back on the episodes. So Holly J was doing like a fashion show. I don't know if it was a fundraiser for the cheerleaders or something like that, but she was doing a fashion show, and literally a lady showed up who was supposed to be like a modeling agent or something like that. And then she went up to me and was like, "Oh, do you want to be a model?" And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, sure." She was like, "I was never really interested in modeling, but sure." And then she was like, "Oh, okay, here's my card." And then the next day she was doing a modeling shoot. Like what? I don't understand. I just feel like she was very annoying. She walked around, she was better than everybody else because she was a model. And then don't even get me started on her and JT. Like that really pissed me off. I think that's really what if if maybe she didn't start off with JT, I don't think I would have liked her, but I think I would have maybe gave her the benefit of the doubt and been like, oh, well, she's a teen mom, which I give her that. One thing I do give Mia, she was always a good mom, in my opinion. I feel like, for being a teen mom, she did really take time to take care of her daughter, even when she was modeling and stuff. And that's just my opinion. And I don't know what happened to the daughter once she started modeling, because sometimes they like randomly showed her and then sometimes she was like with the mom or something, like Mia's mom. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole situation is confusing, but I do like how she took care of her daughter. But everything else, I have nothing really nice to say about her. She is pretty, but don't get me wrong, Nina Dobrev and Mia are two different people. So of course Nina Dobrev is pretty, but Mia, I don't know, something about her just really don't sit right with me. It just like, I think the whole JT thing just threw me off. And you know what, she treated Liberty when after JT had passed and was like, "Oh, he's my boyfriend. He loved me." Like, okay, but even though she didn't know the whole situation or what happened before JT died, like you still knew that was his ex-girlfriend. That was literally, he was the love of her life. They went through a whole pregnancy. They was gonna keep the baby at first, like before they gave it up for adoption. And so literally they was planning out their whole life together. She know his family, he know her family. Like, how you think she wasn't, what was she supposed to do? Be like, oh Mia, I understand y'all dated for 2 seconds, so you can go ahead and keep his locker. You can go ahead and be like, yeah, that was your boyfriend. Like, no, sweetie, we had a whole life before you even got to the school. So I'm gonna need you to think about what you're saying and reevaluate your life. And I like how basically she never talks about JT anymore either. Like after JT dies and the whole situation with her and Liberty, she basically don't even talk about JT anymore. She off to like flirt with Sav and stuff. Like, go
Yeah, and then the way
somewhere.
she treated Derek.
Derek.
Sorry, Danny.
I
The
was
way
like,
she treated
Derek. She
Danny.
did. That's true. She did. I was like, wait a minute. What she do to Derek? I was like, am I missing something? But yeah,
I
okay.
keep
I
forgetting. I
mean,
keep getting the two names mixed up.
that's true.
That's
I
on me.
mean, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't really care about any of her relationships. I think they all sucked. So I don't really have
Yeah,
a opinion of her other relationships other than the JT one, just because.
and then Peter and her was very toxic.
I mean, I guess they were toxic to me. The only reason I don't really clarify them as toxic because I just think they're both horrible people. So their relationship itself wasn't really toxic. It just was them coming together was toxic. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you can go off and talk about Shantae because I that's genuinely, I like I said, I don't dislike Mia. I just think
Mm.
her character was unnecessary. Like we didn't need a Mia for the JT story. We didn't need Mia to know about modeling like that. Like Terry was a model. She was a plus size model. I feel like that storyline works. Her just being a model in general had like they only had one episode, which was with the episode with Shay Mitchell, where we only really got to see her model. Other than that, they didn't really show. Oh, and then the whole situation with the guy who was like trying to get him to sleep with her so that she could get a gig or something. There's the only two instances they showed her modeling really, and after that, nobody cared.
Okay, well, Shantae. All right, so what I remember from Shantae was she was there like
12
when
years.
Spinner. Yeah, I felt like she was there for a long time. Wasn't she there with Spinner and Jimmy like that crossroads when he first found out that kind of was Spinner's fault that he was in a wheelchair? Like she was already there.
Was she? Dang.
because I felt like she was already there being a cheerleader and what's it called, like right after Paige and them graduated. Like that was her freshman year, I believe.
It had to be, yeah, because that's when she was friends with Darcy and Manny.
Yeah.
So I remember somebody
And
literally just talked
then
about it.
when is she Dave's cousin?
Yeah.
So to me, that's at least 5 years, ain't it?
Well, yeah, I know she was a senior around the time Dave came. Well, not when they started wearing uniforms, because that's when you really. That's she wore a
Yeah.
blue uniform, so I mean she had to be a senior. And I don't even know did she show up on the graduation? I don't even remember.
Yeah, she had her graduation with
Anya and Holly J, I'm
I,
assuming.
I don't think so. I think she had it with Mo and Marisol.
Did she?
Either way, I
I
don't
mean, I know she
know,
was there a long
but
time, but was she really there
she
that
was
long?
there. She was there so long. I feel like she was there. She had to be there for at least 5, 6 years. I mean, she
Yeah,
failed twice, but she was known to be a very smart girl. Like she was known to be like president smart.
that's true. Maybe she was like in middle school and she just was friends with a bunch of high schoolers. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, and she never had a storyline either.
And I mean, every storyline that she kind of did have, she was complaining about something, being a Karen, or like she was just making sure like that person knew, oh, you're on my list. Like
That's
she was
true.
trying to be a queen bee, but she wasn't a queen bee, which I never understood. It was like it was moments where I was like, see, they could have did some more storyline. They could have did like, oh, let's go off the days and her that's her cousin thing. Maybe look into her family life a little bit more. So we could understand her, but like I did not understand her. Like I didn't understand why did they have her as a character, and then after that was like, oh, I mean she's here, and then she just like she kept complaining about every little thing,
And she
and it
did.
just was annoying. It just annoyed me. It annoyed me to my core because I was like, this y'all could really be y'all could have made her into like a shade character to be honest,
That's
and
true.
it would have been better. Like she would have been a better character. Like there's not much to say about her because she really was like irrelevant, but at the same time, everything that was, I guess you could say, relevant about her was her being annoying and ignorant.
For real. And I just did a TikTok scene where she was talking to Sav or whatever about the whole when they went camping. And she was like, oh, yeah, I heard you're not the only one getting it or something like in the woods. Or I was like, ew, don't talk about my sister that way. Like, you're nasty.
Wait, she was talking about Allie?
Yeah, she was like, I know you're not the only one getting it this weekend or something.
Oh,
And I was like, excuse me. And she
so
was like,
she's
yeah,
also a snitch.
yeah, like nobody. But this thing, Allie didn't even care. She told Sav. So when Sav came up, she was like, "Yeah, with like in what?" But I don't think she knew like he was talking about getting it. I think she thought like making out and stuff. And then he was like, they're calling you backwoods Mandari. It was like, oh my god, like she was excited about it though. That's the weird thing. Allie was like, oh my god, they
Because
calling me that.
she likes to be talked about.
That's true. But we love Allie. Allie or and Sav. It just was Shantae we was
Mm-hmm.
talking about in that scene. But okay, getting into our next characters. Now again, my character is getting more into like disliking, but also I just feel like they were unnecessary. More
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary than me disliking them. I don't really have that
Okay.
much context to give on this one. I'm just gonna say who it is after you, unless like if you have context for your character.
Going up to the next, I kind of just like this character more than Shantae. Kind of have the type of same type of opinion, but the difference is she kind of had more of a storyline. That's the
Okay.
only difference.
So my character is Zig.
Marisol.
Okay, you can go first this time. I keep pointing this way,
Okay,
but I
so
think you're that way when we record.
yeah, what I see you this way.
Yeah, and I see you this way. So that's what. Well,
Okay.
I'm right here, and then you're right here. So that's what I'm saying. I think
I'm
when I
right
point though,
here.
you're right here. Whatever.
But yeah, so Marisol, just like Shantae, so this I'm gonna turn this back around, but just like Shantae, I felt like all she did was complain. All she did was complain and bully people. That's another layer that she had other than Shantae. Shantae, I mean, I guess you could say she bullied people, but Marisol, she bullied people. Like
Yeah.
it really is all excuse. But like I felt like they were trying to make her be a mean girl, and that was her story arc, like that was her character arc. But then
Yeah.
also her being with Mo, she kind of was like, "Oh, I'm going to be nicer. I'm going to be more, um, I guess I'm gonna be more like nice to people because I'm with Mo, who's a nice guy." And as well as her best friend being Katie, she never was really mean to Katie, but she definitely was the sidekick. Is
Yeah.
it was it was no way you wasn't a sidekick. And like she tried to be her own person, but at the same time, again, she tried to be this queen bee, and it wasn't working out for her.
It really didn't.
So I mean, like I think the only time I really liked Mirasol, the reason why I like Mirasol more than I like Shantae was because um,
But you like Marisol more than you like Shantae, or you like Shantae more than you like Marisol?
well, it depends on the day.
Oh,
They
okay.
both
Because I
like
was like,
high for
wait.
me to be honest.
I was like, wait. You
I
like
forgot
Marisol more than me?
we were doing our least
Yeah. I was just like,
mode,
wait. You switched them then.
but the reason why I picked Shantae as least over Marisol because she didn't have really a storyline Shantae. So it's like it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
unfair to put her over Marisol. And sometimes I like Marisol more than I like Shantae just because she was loyal to Katie because that was her friend.
Yeah, that's true.
Only reason. But Shantae was loyal to her friends too, but you didn't really see it because the girl barely was there.
Yeah, like for real. I did really like Katie and Marisol's friendship though. Even though I don't really care for
Yeah,
either one of them as a character. I did they did have a good friendship.
they were realistic friendship. Like if you look at their friendship, you would want that in a friendship.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the only yeah, I feel like she was loyal. And just getting back to Shantae and Marisol, I feel like they threw away two potentially good characters, and a lot of people just liked them because of how they were portrayed on the show.
Yeah.
And them being people of color, that's kind of problematic a little bit. I mean, they did have people of color that were good characters, but I feel like they missed the opportunity with them too.
Yeah. To me, I feel like, and I think we're gonna do an episode on this, like the whole situation, because it is a lot of characters on Degrassi like that are people of color. Majority that we seen because we are black is mostly black characters. I don't really know if there's
Mm-hmm.
any other people of color. I don't want to say that there isn't because there probably are, but thing we've noticed for black characters, like they either didn't have that many storylines or they were like really annoying. They were
Yeah,
really annoying. Like even we would be like, okay, let's try to sympathize with them or like we can relate to them, but like we couldn't because it's just like all they show is their bitchiness and their annoyingness, and it's just like that's not all black people are. Like not every
exactly.
single black person. I'm not gonna sit here and say every black person is nice, every black person is this, but we are all annoying and all bitchy, like bitches. Like I feel like that's how Degrassi kind of portrayed black people, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's kind of hurtful. Like I really love this show, but y'all really portraying us so kind of like not positively.
I like I know there's people out here that's like I feel like they ain't trying to make it a race thing, but I know it's
Yeah,
people out here that's like bitches. Like it's people out here that really is bitches. So having maybe like one character that's like a bitch, okay, yeah, you can have that. But why did they have to be a person of color? They could have been a Caucasian. They could have been,
yeah,
European. It could have been any other. It could have been any other race. I'm pretty sure, just like with African Americans here, there are people that's annoying. There's people that
yes,
are bitches. There are people that bitching, that be bitching about stuff. So I mean, I could see maybe one character here and there, but I feel like every single black character, like you said, was a I feel like either was a stereotype, aka Jimmy, or was um he was just annoying when
Yeah.
he was
Or they didn't
talking.
really have no
And
storyline.
yeah, they didn't have no
Like
storyline.
Hazel. Hazel would have been such a great character. And I don't know if it's because I really love the actress, because like, we grew up with her. We saw her on Cadet Kelly and stuff. And I was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be on the show. And I think she had one storyline. And then she was with Jimmy and she was
Yeah, and
Paige's sidekick.
they could have really played off that. Her culture, that was
Yeah.
way different. You didn't see that.
And they really just did my girl Hazel wrong. Like I really actually
They
kind of
really
like
did.
Hazel. I think when I go back and watch the show, I like her more because at first I didn't really pay
Yeah.
attention to her because like we said she had no storyline. But after
Mm.
rewatching the show, I kind of was like, okay, like I kind of like Hazel. But again, I want her to have a storyline or something. Like give her something.
I feel bad because the reason why I didn't like her much was because I didn't like her with Jimmy. I don't understand that relationship at first. Like when I first watched, I was like, that don't seem right to me. But now looking back at it, like that's black love. Let it happen, you know.
Yeah, it's
But
so cute. And they met on the
it
Breakfast
was
Club
cute.
episode. Oh well, they didn't
Yeah, I
meet, but
mean,
they dated. Started dating.
yeah, it was cute and all, but at the same time, I was like, you can tell that episode didn't go with anything.
They didn't.
It was a great episode. I love the episode, but it didn't go with
Just
this
like
storyline.
Sally. Sean and Ellie happened on the episode too.
Nobody
Yay.
cares.
I honestly though, I thought they was gonna forget about that episode. So when Sean and Ellie really
Yeah,
started dating, and when Hazel and Jimmy really started dating, I was like, because on Breakfast Club, we don't see the after effect. So I was
yeah,
expecting them to like kind of just throw an episode like, oh, Breakfast Club, let's do something fun, and then they was just gonna forget about everything that happened on the episode. But no, they really dated and stuff. I was like, okay, this is cool.
yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna start talking about Zig. I honestly forgot who my character was for a second. Um, I think Zig has some great. Okay, let me not. I'm gonna restart how I'm gonna say that. I think Zig has some funny moments, like the whole him singing. He was really
Mhm.
feeling himself on that. If y'all follow us on TikTok, I posted that TikTok that scene where he was dancing. He was like, I don't think I can sing the song because that'd be copyright. But he
Yeah,
was really
it's
get
basically the French song Kiss.
yeah, like he just kept singing "Kiss," basically, like "Kiss, kiss, 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 kiss." And he dedicated it to his teacher, and he was really feeling himself, and everybody was laughing. Like he was like, "Oh my god, what are y'all laughing at?" I don't understand how he got upset because I think the whole episode was like he was failing his class, and then he was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I can sing, so let me sing a song." And then when they started laughing at him, he got all upset. I don't understand why. It was funny. I would have just started laughing and be like, "Oh wow, I look stupid." But he took it so like such an offense to it, but whatever. But I genuinely, to me, I never liked Zig. And like I said, I'm not my thing with Zig. I feel like he was more just an unnecessary character than me disliking him, but like I still dislike him. It's just not strong. Like I don't hate him or nothing. But like literally when we first see him, he's so annoying. He's like, "Oh, I'm all about Tori." That's what he claimed. He was like, "Oh, Tori's my girlfriend, blah blah blah, Tori, Tori, Tori." And then the girl literally showers him with love. She don't care that he's I don't even know if he's considered poor or like how his whole situation was because they didn't really explain it well, but they made it seem like in one episode he was poor, and so she didn't care that he was poor. And then all of a sudden he started having this interest for Maya, which honestly I don't think he really ever. I don't know. Going later into the storyline, yeah, I feel like he somewhat cared about Maya, but at first I think he kind of just was like, I'm over Tori. And so like who's the best option in my grade? And then he was like, oh well, Maya's here. And he's like, well, maybe I'll try it with Maya. But then Maya was with Cam, and he was like, oh, I don't like Cam. So essentially I'm gonna go for Maya just because I don't like Cam. And then that whole situation happened. And I didn't like the way that whole Cam and Zig thing happened. I don't like how they made it like a feud, like a beef that they had, and then Cam passed, and then they kind of just he didn't really feel bad about what he said, which I Like, I understand you didn't like Cam, so nobody's saying be fake and be like, oh, I don't know, just how everything went. I feel like I would have felt some type of way if that happened to me. And so for them to really have Zig just not really care, I don't know. That don't sit right with me. I feel like the way they did it was just horrible.
Yeah.
And then literally the same thing happened again when she was with Miles. He beat Miles up. He was like, I want to be with Maya. And I like how all this happens when she's with somebody compared to when she's single. He kind of just like wants to be friends with her. And that also doesn't sit right with me because I really don't feel like Zig cares about Maya, as in like a relationship wise. Like friendship wise, I think they cool friends, but I don't know. I never wanted them to get together because Zig just. I feel like Maya was such a good main girl because apparently she was like a main girl considered for like coming up in the Degrassi era. And so she went through a lot of I like how they like did her storylines and stuff. And so all her boyfriends were horrible. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I did like her and Cam, but like
Mm-hmm.
because both of their mental states, I don't think they should have necessarily been together. And then I just think it made it worse once Cam passed. And then after that, she started going off the rails. And then who she go out with after that? I don't think her and Zig ever got together till next class. So maybe Miles was the next person she went with. I didn't like her and Miles. And then yeah, I think her and Zig dated for like 5 seconds. And that was I didn't like that. And then yeah, like they really just didn't give Maya any good relationships. Then
They
for
really
next
didn't.
class, I didn't like Zig, especially because yeah, he was considered a bad boy. Like, oh, he's so cute. He wear muscle shirts. I didn't like his rebranding because at first he was the skater boy. Then he's this bad boy because he's in the delinquent class, or I don't know how they explain that. They didn't really. I like how Degrassi made everybody smart, and then all of a sudden everybody was in this delinquent class, like they were criminals or something. That I think that was weird.
Yeah.
And then yeah, then all of a sudden Zig is this criminal. He's this bad boy. He's cute, and then he started dating Esme, which also was weird. And then he had that whole throuple thing with him, Esme, and Frankie. And then other people also considered he had a throuple with Grace and Zoe because Zoe was friends with Zig at the time, and Grace had a crush on Zig, so they considered that a threesome. I don't know. To me, and this just my final words on Zig. I didn't really. He just was very annoying. I didn't like him, and I just feel like his character was unnecessary. Like we didn't need a Zig. He treated Tori so horribly, and that's I think that really just like if you notice what all my characters is how they start that really makes me annoyed by them. He started
Mm.
by being with Tori and treating her horribly, and then after that, everything after that just was like I didn't care anymore. He just sucked as a person.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Zig. Like, I tolerate him just because I know, like, he's he was a teen boy. Like, teen boys gonna do what they do, and like, I think he was more lower class. I don't think he was like necessarily too poor because she did have her, his mom did have her own business. But I just think the business started to because not many people was willing to go to a deli or a little concession store. I
Yeah,
don't know
see,
what it
but that's
was,
so
convenience
confusing to
store.
me. What happened to his storyline? Because literally, he they didn't mention that he was lower class or anything. Then all of a sudden, it was the one episode where it was Tori and his anniversary, and he's like stole, like dined and dashed at the restaurant, and then he stole clothes or something because he wanted to look nice. And then all of a sudden, they didn't talk about it anymore. Then, like the next season, he was considered a criminal delinquent. His brother wasn't there anymore, and his mom wasn't there anymore, and he was lit. He ended up living with Maya because he was squatting in people's houses. So that's why I'm like, I don't
Mm,
understand his storyline. They didn't explain it.
yeah, they basically said his mom and his brother left him.
Yeah, that's basically what they made it seem like. Like, oh yeah, we were living here. We wasn't making money anymore. So I guess his family up and left, and he just decided, oh, I'm not going with y'all.
But
That
like another thing is that I think is weird. Like Zig was stealing stuff like he really couldn't do anything, but his mom gave him money.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, was he really poor? That's what I'm saying. I'm confused. I don't understand that storyline. That's not a reason I dislike him or anything. I just thought that was confusing to me.
Yeah,
But
that's
okay,
the only
next.
weird thing about Zig that I thought was weird about Zig was that whole. The whole
Yeah,
storyline.
they didn't really explain it. But yeah, okay. So
Final
next
characters.
well, yeah, technically final characters because we have one mutual character that we
Yeah.
dislike. So yeah, last characters for our like our individual selves is mine's. I absolutely dislike this person. I don't want to say the word hate. I'm really trying to stay away from the word hate, but I strongly dislike this character. I do think I guess this character had good character development and stuff. And it was only one time that I felt sorry for this character, and everything else sucked about this character. And that's I'm gonna leave it at that for right now.
Well, with my character, at first he was a cool dude. Like he really was cool, and something just turned on him. I don't know what it was.
I know who your character is, and I don't really like that character either. So the funny thing is, I never thought they were cool or nothing, and that's just me. So
I mean,
like,
for a short, like this much, a little bit. He was for a little bit.
okay, well, my character is Casey.
Jonah.
I could literally do a whole episode about Casey, about how much I dislike Casey. Now, first, I just want to say the one time I felt sorry for him is the whole basketball incident. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where the basketball coach, was trying to be inappropriate. And so I'm gonna just leave that there because I did feel sorry for that whole situation. I don't think that should have happened. That was gross. I can't remember. I'm assuming the coach got fired, but yeah, I'm gonna just leave that. Casey was a little okay. I'm about to change my words because I was gonna say something else in my head, but he's oh my gosh, he's so annoying. Okay, first let's just talk about when he comes onto the show. He comes on the show. He was a little annoying douchebag. He was like,
Hmm.
I don't want to be here. I know I'm smart, but like I don't want to be with the nerdy people because I'm cool. Already you get on my nerves. Then he was like being rude to Connor, but then they end up being friends. I guess woohoo yay. And then the whole situation with Claire, he was like his way of flirting with Claire, but he was just making her do stuff. It was weird. Like when he made her sing and was like, "Oh, sing you! It'd be so cute if you sing." But I can't remember if that was before or after they dated, like started dating. Then it was that whole
Hmm.
prom situation where Connor asked or danced. Connor asked Claire, and then Claire was like, "Oh, well, Casey already asked me," but then she felt bad for Connor, so she ended up saying, "I'll go with Connor." And Casey and Connor fought. That was stupid. Then y'all all know the situation with Jenna, that nastiness where literally Jenna was flirting. And I always say this. I don't blame the girl in the situation. I do blame Jenna somewhat for how it went down because literally, of course, she knew Claire was dating Casey. Literally, she came to the
They had
show
a
and was
double
like,
date.
"Oh, yeah." She was literally like, "I'm a boyfriend stealer. Like, I don't care. I'll literally take your man." That's literally what Jenna said when she got there. I'm like, first of all, if I was Claire, I would have, cause who was it? It was Allie. She literally said, "Oh, Johnny's my boyfriend, so don't touch him." Literally, she made it clear. She said, "You touch him, we're gonna have a fight." And then Claire was like, "Oh, I'm dating Casey," and she's like, "Oh my god, Casey's so cute." I would have been like, he's mine though. So back up, take a breath, and find
That should
somebody
be funny. I
else.
say you can have them.
Yeah, like honestly, me, I don't understand how Claire wanted him. I would have been like, "Oh, okay, you can have him." I've been trying to find ways to break up with him, you know but that's who Claire wanted to be with. Even though she don't know in a couple like in a year she gonna have Eli. So, but for that moment, she was literally like, "Oh, Claire, Casey's my boyfriend." I wouldn't have claimed him, but do what you do. Then literally they got together, and I don't think necessarily Casey cheated on Claire, but I still don't like the situation how it went down. Because literally he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't like Jenna." He kept telling her, "Oh yeah, I don't like Jenna. Oh, me and Jenna just cool. We just friends." And then the next breath, when they break up, he's like, "Oh, I tried to hide my feelings. I tried to not like Jenna." You could have just said, "Oh, yeah, I have feelings for Jenna," and we could have just broke up then and there. But no, you wanted to leave
Exactly.
Claire on and make her like be with you still when you could have easily just broke up with her. Because I feel like his whole thing was, "Oh, I want to see if Jenna actually likes me. I don't want to break up with Claire and then Jenna don't like me. Then I look stupid." I feel like you look more stupid now that you broke up with Claire because you like Jenna. And I love how Allie was like, "You not my friend," but that was so weird. Literally, Allie was like, "Oh, we not friends no more, Jenna," and she went through this whole thing. But then the next bro, they end up being friends again in like the next season. So that was weird. Then another thing I don't like about Casey, literally, you had a cute, like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, Jenna was cute, and other than her stealing Claire's boyfriend, I think she was a somewhat good character. Wouldn't say she was one of my favorites or nothing, but I don't dislike her. And so you had a cute girlfriend, you had a baby on the way, and then when the baby came, and I think his mom had just came back in his life, so he was had a somewhat good life. But no, he wants to complain because Jenna's pregnant and she feels like she's not only alone, but she just like, I feel like I'm the only one taking care of the baby. And then you're like, I'm playing basketball. You told me to play basketball. Sit down. Go sit down somewhere.
Exactly.
And then he gets a job, and his stupid tail gonna be like, oh, I'm starting to like Marisol. Like, no offense
I
to
forgot about
Marisol,
that.
you forgot about that? Literally, when Jenna told him to go get a job because they needed to financially support themselves and the baby, he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go work at the Little Mistakes or whatever the thing was called." And then
Mm-hmm.
Marisol, I feel like was just being friendly at first. Was like, "Oh, like you should play these games, or like we should do this just to make his job more fun," because she could tell he was miserable. But this dude taking it as, "Oh, she flirting with me." Now, of course, Marisol being the type of girl she gonna take whatever comes towards her. And I ain't trying to be rude, but that's how she kind of made it seem like when Drew had any sort of inkling of flirting with her, she then took it as, "Oh, I'm gonna try to be his girlfriend." So she basically did the same thing with Casey. As soon as Casey started flirting back in his head, flirting back with her, she was like, "Oh, okay, like I don't care, you got a baby mama at home, like we can be together." And they started doing a little thing, which was gross. And I can't, because then that whole thing just, it upsets me. And then I don't like how he's considered, like, what, how is he smart? That's my thing. Because like they never really show how he was smart, and then he ended up leaving the show to go to like either college early, like he got early acceptance, or he went to like a smart school. But like, what was his actual, because we know Allie, her thing was like
Fine.
science, and she was trying to cure cancer. Claire, we know she did mostly writing. I think that was her thing because that's what she really went into once she started dating Eli. So I'm assuming her thing was English. And then who was it?
Connor.
Jenna, her thing was music. Connor just was smart
Math.
overall, but I think his thing was math. That's what you just said,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, his thing
Yeah.
was math. So what was Casey's thing? Like, he just was considered smart, but they didn't say specify his specialty.
I'm assuming it had to be like because wasn't he kind of considered like since he was a foster kid? I'm thinking he got on it for like a scholarship, so maybe that's why they put him there because the GPA was just high,
Oh, okay. Because I was like, yeah, they never specified how he was smart. They just say he was smart.
and plus he was good at basketball, so maybe that's why.
But he didn't start playing basketball, remember, until the coach that was inappropriate with him came up to him and asked him about basketball.
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
And then the last thing, I just think he was a bad friend. He just
Hmm.
got on my nerves. He was very selfish and just immature. I like, for some characters, I always be like, oh well, if they had the baby. Like, my whole thing with Manny and Craig, I think I kind of like them as a couple, and I feel like if Craig if they had the baby, which I understand Manny's decision, but I feel like if they had the baby, they both would have really matured in a way. And so I
Hmm.
kind of thought, oh, well, when Jenna and Casey have a baby, which I think Jenna definitely matured after she had the baby, Casey did not mature at all. He literally just was more annoying, in my opinion. It was like, you're having a baby, dude. Act like you having a baby. He wanted to act like Jenna's the mom. She can take care of the baby. And I'm just going to be there and being like, hey, what's up, Tyson? I'm your dad, and I'm gonna wait till you become a toddler so I can teach you basketball. That's literally how I felt like he treated it. And then his whole situation where he was friends with Fitz and Bianca for that 5 seconds, or was it Owen and
Hmm.
Bianca? It was somebody.
It
And
was Fitz and
yeah,
Bianca.
okay, yeah. And after that, I really just was like, I'm ready for you to lead the show. I was glad he left the show. And a lot of people talking about like he had a good ending, which I guess technically he did. He did have a good ending because he just went to another school because he was smart. But that still don't mean I like him as a character.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's I'm in that with Casey. Literally, I don't think that will ever change. Like maybe I can start to like Zig. Maybe I can start to like Mia. I don't think I'm gonna start to like the other person that we mutually dislike either. But yeah,
Oh
Casey,
no. Mm.
Casey, I will never. I think will never have a liking for Casey, and that's just maybe y'all can prove me wrong. Maybe y'all can put in the comments how I can start liking Casey, but I can't see it. So yeah, let's
Okay,
start
so
talking about this other stupid dude.
my last person, my last person is Jonah. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So at first, yeah, I feel like I like him a little bit just because him and Becky was kind of cute a little bit. And that's when he was like his goth self. Like he was kind of,
He
he
just
was kind of,
to me he
he
was
was
very
trying to
douchey.
bring, yeah, he was trying to bring Eli vibes a little bit. And I think, how Eli has his little sarcastic quirks about him. I think Jonah was trying to do the same.
And it didn't work. To me, it
It
didn't work.
didn't work. But then when he stopped being Josh, he he totally lost. Like he totally just like any sort of coolness he had in him, it just went out the door. Like he was so like mean.
He really
It was
was.
mean, annoying, and like I wanted like the actor. The actor seemed like a cool dude. Like I follow him on Instagram. He seemed like a nice dude.
Oh yeah, I follow
But
him
his
too.
character was horrible. Like absolutely horrible. And I was just like, what am I watching? And like, wasn't like him and Frankie together for a little bit?
Oh yeah, that was literally other than Winston, that was Frankie's biggest relationship.
And it was kind of perverted because he was older.
That's true.
Like I
But
think he
that
was
you
a
could say the
teen
same
by
thing for
then.
her and Winston. She was like 14, I
But
think.
no, but Winston was only a year older than her. I think Jonah was like 18 by that time.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I think Winston was like 16. Cause
Oh, okay. I mean,
wasn't
that's kind of
Miles?
normal in high school.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't know Jonah was 18. So that's why I was like, oh, I see what you're saying.
I think he was older than Miles, and of course he older than Frankie. I think he was older than Miles too.
Yeah. He had to be,
Yeah,
right? Well, no, maybe they were the same age. Cause Grace graduated the same time that Zoe and Tristan and Maya graduated. And they was all around the same age.
that's true. But I don't
But
know. It's ambiguous with some of these characters and their ages.
But like you said, he still could have been 18 because, like I said, Frankie dated Winston when she was like 14, 15. So that would have
Hmm.
been like a year after she dated Winston. So yeah, he could have been 18 still.
Yeah, I don't know, but like just everything about Jonah at first. Like at first, I was like I said, tolerating him. He was cool with me. Like I thought him and Becky was kind of cute, but then as soon as like he just made a 180 on his whole character arc, I feel like a whole 180.
Yeah, literally the only thing similar about his character when he was golf and after that was his music, which he
Oh
barely
yeah,
sung.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just don't understand. Like I think a lot of the similarities with the characters that I just like, they didn't have like a real storyline for.
That's
They're
true.
like characters that were like placed, and they thought they was relevant and they weren't.
Exactly.
And when they tried to be relevant, they just spat on everybody.
Did you like any of Jonah's relationships? I know you said you kind of liked him and Becky, but did you like him
Yeah,
and
that was it.
Frankie or him and Grace?
No, no, I did not.
I didn't like none of them,
I
but
wanted Grace. I really wanted Grace to be honest. I wanted Grace to be with Maya for a little bit. That would have been interesting to see.
that would have kind of been interesting to see.
Or
I
her,
thought you was gonna say
or her and
Zoe.
Zoe. Yeah, but I said, or her and Zoe. Yeah, I forgot all about Zoe. I don't know why. I forgot all about Zoe. I
Oh
forgot.
my
Yes,
god,
that
they had
also
that
would have been
whole
cute.
cute. I thought it was
Yeah,
so weird though because Grace, I don't know. I feel like Grace kind of tried to be with Zoe, and I don't know if she was scared to be considered like part of the LGBTQ, like scared to be because I don't know what she would have identified as like bisexual or pansexual or lesbian, but I don't know if she was scared of that or if she was actually straight because remember she kept saying like, "Oh, I don't like." She claimed she had feelings for Zoe, but that she was straight, so that's why she didn't want to
mm,
be in a relationship. But it was it really because you were straight, or is it because you didn't want to, like, you didn't want to identify that way? Like she was scared to identify that way. Because I do, it was to me, and I really don't want to try to judge people. I just didn't. I don't know, like the way the character was. I really felt like she liked Zoe. It
yeah.
wasn't like, yeah, okay, you could think you're straight. That's you can identify however you want to. But I really just felt like she had feelings for Zoe. It's no way she could just be like, "Yeah, I'm straight, so I don't want to be with you." I don't
Because
know.
Zoe was there when she was sick.
Yeah, and maybe that's why she thought she liked her. Maybe that could have been the reason
Yeah,
why. But I don't know. That was a whole weird thing.
yeah.
Will
Basically,
they?
like on
Won't they?
iCarly, when Carly got saved when Freddie pushed her out the way of the car or
Yeah,
whatever,
that's true.
and he really fell in love with Freddie because of that. So
Yeah,
it's
and Freddie
like,
was
do
like,
I?
"I can't be with you."
Yeah.
Did you
Did
hear
you fall
Freddie
in
act?
love with me? Or
Sorry, I
did
didn't
you
mean to
fall
cut
in
you
love
off.
with me because I saved your life, or did you fall in love with me because you really love me?
That's true. I think Carly always had some sort of feelings towards Freddie, but then when she found out that him and Sam kissed, it was like, oh, I gotta kind of
Oh, I
back
can't do
off
nothing
now.
now.
Yeah. But did you hear Freddie's supposed to be like Ross from Friends? He's supposed to have like a bunch of divorces in the new, because you know they reviving it, or I don't know how,
Hmm.
rebooting it. And literally Freddie's supposed to have like two or three divorces or something by the time the show start.
Yeah, yeah. And,
People trying to say it's his mom
um,
though.
now Spencer is rich.
Oh yeah. But I don't know nothing about all these other characters though.
Yeah,
But
and that's supposed to
yeah.
be on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
what's Carly supposed to be doing? I just know Freddie and Spencer. What's Carly? Carly just supposed to be there. She's like, "Hey, I'm back. I'm Carly."
Maybe living. She gonna live with Spencer or something.
That's true. Okay, let's. Well, were you done? I feel like I kind of cut you off.
Yeah, I was done.
Okay. So for the last mutual, this disgusting. Oh my God, what did Manny say? Literally, she quote. I wanted to quote this so bad, but I can't remember what she said. But
Oh,
literally,
I know what she said, but I don't know word for word. But I know exactly what she was
yeah,
talking
she
about.
called him like a, the spawn of Satan, um, and something else. She called him a bunch of other dirty words. But
That
I
first line
agree,
is very accurate.
yeah, to who this person is, and this
Mm.
person is Peter.
Peter.
Peter,
Peter.
do
Oh
you
my
want to
god.
start this one, or do you want me to start?
All I gotta say, because we probably gonna be ranting on this for a good minute,
Exactly.
but I have to say it. I've, I've said the three characters I don't like,
Mm-hmm.
but now that we get into the one mutual one I don't like, I could literally deal with every other person I said before this three times over before I would deal with stupid ass Peter. Okay, now we can get on with the discussion.
Okay,
I
I'm gonna
absolutely
just
despise this guy. He's horrible. He's
I'm gonna just
despicable.
I'm gonna just read off what I said. I'm probably gonna add a bunch of, but this is kind of short, so I just wanted to read it, so I make sure I say everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he liked Manny and
Mm-hmm.
filmed her inappropriately when she was vulnerable and drunk. Then he
Yes.
sends the video out when she rejects him because Emma has a crush on him.
Mm-hmm.
Once he finds out that Emma has a crush on him, which already I think is weird, they get together. After this, after him and Emma get together, he frames Sean when Sean come back and gets him in trouble because he's jealous of Sean and Emma's relationship, which is understandable because they in game.
Exactly.
Then all his relationships basically ended because of his own stupidity. He also took advantage of Darcy when he started taking them inappropriate pictures of her and sending it around.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is the ultimate. I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube, but he's just disgusting. So I'm just gonna say disgusting instead of the word that I wrote. And that's everything I
I say
wrote.
F boy. That's probably what
F.
you wrote.
Well, mine starts with the P,
Oh, okay.
so I'm pretty sure y'all know what it means. But I don't think you can say it on YouTube. I don't want this video to be cut off.
Monetize, demonetize.
Yeah. Well, no, not monetize. I don't make money off this. I'm talking about just the fact that I'm talking about. I don't want it because if you say certain words on YouTube, I think they can just delete your video in general. So that's what I'm
And we don't want
saying. Like
that.
certain words, I don't want to say, and then we not have this podcast episode because I think it's funny.
Yeah. It would be on other platforms though if it did.
That's true. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't know all the other ones, but y'all can always message me if y'all want to know.
Exactly. Yeah. So
But
what can I say about Peter that haven't already been said by you? Um.
that's true.
Yeah. So let's deep dive into this. You literally come in. Your first impression is you a pervert. You
That was
literally
the word,
videotape a
Amber.
girl. Oh, it was.
That's literally the whole thing I was talking about, but I don't know if you can say it. Well, she said it now, so that was the word I was talking about. I was gonna say he was a big pervert. If the video gets taken down, it gets taken down, I guess.
I'm so sorry, YouTube. Please don't do that.
Oh
Let's
my
back up. Your first impression with these lovely students is that you take advantage of one of their fellow classmates while she was inebriated, while she was inebriated, and make sure she's embarrassed in front of the whole student body.
God. Exactly. Because you stupid. And she don't like you.
Exactly. She never liked him.
For real. Like
I mean, she
literally,
probably thought it was cute.
I don't even remember. All I remember is on the episode where Emma started having a crush on him. She was like, "Ew, why you worrying about boys? I'm trying to." She was trying to get into her acting at that point. So she was like, "I'm just
Yeah,
worried about my acting." And Emma was like, "Oh, look at that cute boy." I was like, "Ugh." When she said he was cute, I was like, "Emma, stop."
she was missing Sean at that point. I think that's what it was.
But like, you had Sean. All the other
Exactly.
guys, other than I think his name was Chris, which was the black guy that she dated for like 5 seconds. Other than
Yeah.
him, all her boyfriends was just like I really just wanted to throw up. It just was like, what taste do you have? Because how is it you went out with Sean and you went out with Chris? Oh, excuse me, Kelly. Kelly, oh my god, I love Kelly.
I'm about to say, didn't you like Kelly too?
Yeah, I did like Kelly. So other than them three, like she has the most random taste. Like you don't have to have a type, but like what's your taste? Because all the dudes she went out with, technically she went out with Jay, and I understand he went out with Manny eventually, but I don't care for Jay. I think that's
They didn't go
disgusting.
out, go out. They just messed around.
But like they got jealous of each other because they was kissing other people and stuff. So I technically consider that like a small relationship. If you're getting jealous of somebody
Oh,
else being, I don't know. Then I don't know. Just like Peter though, and then Damien.
got her finest hours.
Oh God, ew.
Da- Damien was like this close to being on one of my dislikes. He was this close.
This close, y'all.
Cause I was like, I had to mention not only did you try to break up Liberty and Emma's relationship,
For real.
but like you really talked you your S star IT instinct.
You could
What?
say that. You could say curse words. You just I
That's true.
just
I said ass.
oh
You
it's true.
thought your shit didn't stink
Oh my gosh.
when it did, sweetie. Everybody shit stink.
And do you know people actually ship Pitter? That should be his new name though. Peter and Riley.
What?
Yeah.
Why would Riley stoop that low?
That's exactly what I say every single time. I'm like, because it was like, oh, Peter was, and I guess it's good. Peter was accepting of Riley when, because I think the first person Riley told that he was thinking about dudes in a romantic way was Peter, and Peter like accepted him, which that's great.
Okay. Yeah,
But they
as
don't
a
have to
friend
be
he
together.
should. Exactly, as a friend he should accept them.
And I
That makes
think
sense.
maybe Peter was the first guy that Riley had a crush on, so maybe that's what they're going off of. But no,
But let's say, wasn't his boyfriend Riley's boyfriend named Zane?
yeah,
Zane was amazing. You
he
really
really
think he is
was.
going to be going with Peter instead?
I love Zane. Oh my gosh, they should have gave him more storyline because I feel like his only storyline was being with Riley. Like if they weren't together, you
Exactly.
barely saw him, and if they after they broke up, they were barely. He was barely there. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
He really was. I think by that point they were about to graduate.
Yeah, so it was like
So that's how long they were together.
I really like Zane and Riley, and for people to really be like, be with Peter, don't
I've
ruin them.
never, I've never heard of that. Maybe I ignored it. Maybe I like blocked it out of my mind.
That's
Every
true.
time I see Peter's name, I'm like, you know,
And then people always talk about, oh well, Peter and Darcy were kind of cute. Okay, I'll give y'all this. Out of all Peter's relationships, yes, Darcy was the best one. If that's what y'all want to hear,
that's
that's what
true.
y'all can hear from me. Yes, that was the best relationship, but it wasn't a good one. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah,
Exactly.
Darcy and Peter were so cute. And you're having this moment and this moment. No, it was not good. It just was the best of all his horrible relationships.
I mean, Darcy was already like a tumultuous person. Like she already had her emotional ways, and I felt like when she was with Peter, she looked at him up, but he lowered her.
Yeah,
So when
basically.
she left him, yeah, when she left him and to go to Africa or whatever, I think he was getting lifted and he was going back to his lowered self.
Yeah,
So that's why he missed her because he knew without her, he ain't. I'm not gonna be the best person I can be
that's true.
just because you're the scum of the earth anyway. How you gonna let a person lift you up by yourself? You need to know how to lift your own stuff up first.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people think I don't know if people actually say this, but when people talk about Peter, they either say like us, they either be like, "Ew, he's the ultimate perv. He's disgusting. We don't care about him," or they be like, "Oh, well, once he got older, we started to understand him a little more," and blah blah blah. I didn't see any character development in him. I don't like how they made him like a basically a main character. Like he had a bunch of storylines, and he was literally there when Emma, like of course Emma and Manny and all them was there because he dated Emma, and then he got to be there up until whenever he left, and basically had a whole freaking like storyline. Like he had a beginning and an ending. When some of these characters who are really good didn't even get that, and
Yeah.
I guess maybe the actor was really cool because he was also in like minis and he was on the next class because he was like a
Yeah.
music producer or something because he was trying to work with Maya. And like
It
for
definitely was
that,
the actor. Definitely was the actor. It wasn't the character.
yeah, I would
It
say for
had to be.
that, that's a good. I think his name is Jamie or something. Like I would applaud him because he really made me dislike him. But the fact that he keep coming back, obviously that means he's a good actor or like a good person in real life. For them that want to
Mm.
keep bringing him back and for him to want to keep coming back to the show. So in that instance, I love that. But Peter gets on my last nerves. I don't like him.
They tell you how good of an actor he is because shout out to the actor. And you say his name was
Yeah.
Jamie because he was hilarious on My Babysitter the Vampire. Like
Oh my
that
god, I forgot he was on My
episode.
Baby Sister Vampire.
That episode was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I love My Baby Sister Vampire.
That was one of my favorite episodes. I
When he came to the to
think.
their little town, and he thought he was a real
Yes.
vampire.
Mm.
Oh
And
my gosh.
Erica was
Oh my
like,
gosh.
"Y'all not home. Get on my man. This my man right
Yeah,
here.
stay away.
Territorial." Mm,
But yeah, I think we go end it there because we could really
yeah.
go in on this whole situation and we ain't gotta dissect it that much. It's just we
Yeah,
don't
we didn't
like
even mention Peter and Mia's relationship. I don't even think we had to talk about that.
well, we mentioned it when I talked about Mia because they was literally toxic person, disgusting.
Yeah,
Don't
but
be
like they
together.
were very dependent. He was very dependent on her.
That's true. And we never really got to
But
see
I
what he
think
did with
it's
her
because
daughter.
yeah, I think it's because of Darcy though. That's
What
why
the
he was
reason
very
why their
dependent
relationship
on.
didn't work?
No, the reason why he was very dependent on her.
How
He
did they
wanted
even get
somebody to
together?
take care of him. I don't know.
They just saw each other like, oh wow,
And
you're
Mia
toxic. Oh wow,
went
you're
through them
toxic.
three friends.
Huh?
She went through them three friends. Sav, Peter, and Danny.
Oh. I was like, what you talking about? I was like, uh-huh. Yeah,
He tried
friends.
to go to the three friends because Sav didn't even like her.
That's true.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Okay, well. End it there. Amber, take us to the outro.
Woo! This has been the Grassy Class of Nostalgia, y'all.
How you don't know
I've
your
been
own podcast name?
I always add the, and I keep forgetting. I don't have to add the.
I mean, you don't
I
have to,
know
but if
it,
you say it, it's not like it's
but
bad.
it don't sound like the Degrassi of
Oh,
the
duh.
Degrassi
I
Class
thought you
of
meant.
Nostalgia.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why I say Degrassi. I know that. I know. I know it.
Let's
I
hope.
just Degrassi Class of Nostalgia. This has been Degrassi
Yay.
Class of Nostalgia. Oh, Amber.
And I've been Makaila.
And join us next time where we're going to talk about underrated characters. Some
And this gonna be a
characters that
surprise to
should have
me.
had, the characters that should have had more of a storyline that deserve better. All of the above.
So bye.
Bye.
Okay, I was like, you gonna say bye? I didn't see your thing move. Okay, bye.
Bye.